In recent years in the UK, we have seen an increase in mental health problems among young people, so there has been an increased focus on how to support students. Here we have found concerning evidence that students may have a higher risk of depression and anxiety than their peers of the same age who are not in higher education. Even though our computers are better today than they were 15 years ago, they still malfunction between 11 and 20% of the time, a new study concludes. Therefore, the researchers behind the study found that society can gain major benefits by rethinking the systems and involving users more in their development. An endlessly rotating beach ball, a program that crashes without saving data, or systems that require illogical procedures or simply do not work. Unfortunately, struggling with computers is still a familiar situation for most of us. According to new Danish research, tearing your hair out over computers that do not work remains very common among users. Now, Northwestern University chemists have developed a new catalyst that quickly, cleanly, and ultimately breaks down nylon 6 in a matter of minutes, without generating harmful byproducts. Even better, the process does not require toxic solvents, expensive materials, or extreme conditions, making it practical for everyday applications. Intermittent fasting is a popular dietary trend involving alternating fasting and eating periods. Proponents claim it can lead to weight loss, improved insulin sensitivity, and other health benefits. However, there are also potential risks, such as nutrient deficiencies and eating disorders. It is important to consult with a healthcare professional before starting any fasting regimen. Many mental health problems emerge during adolescence. Among these are disorders such as depression and anxiety, which manifest as internalizing symptoms, including low mood and worry. Other conditions, such as attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD, manifest as externalizing symptoms, such as impulsive behavior. How can you be prepared for what's ahead, good or bad? Building emotional strength can help you learn how to handle twists and turns confidently. But emotional strength doesn't mean pushing aside or suppressing negative feelings or emotions. Instead, it means acknowledging them and finding healthy ways to process and respond to them. Cats are popular pets around the world. They are known for their playful nature, soft fur, and independent personalities. Many people enjoy having cats as companions, as they can provide comfort and entertainment. However, it is important to take care of cats properly and provide them with food, water, and regular veterinary checkups. These days, it seems that near-death experiences are a common phenomenon. The research team named above, which studied hundreds of cases to narrow down the medical definition, discovered that around 15% of people who have been resuscitated from a coma after cardiac arrest have had these experiences. Research has shown that excessive job hours, such as long or overtime, can lead to adverse outcomes, including increased stress levels, fatigue, and decreased job satisfaction. Additionally, long work hours have been associated with adverse health effects, such as increased risk of cardiovascular disease and mental health issues. Building a personal library requires careful consideration and a discerning eye for selecting literary works that resonate with one's intellectual curiosity. Beyond being a physical manifestation of one's intellectual journey, personal libraries serve as a sanctuary for intellectual stimulation and contemplation. They offer a haven for deep reading, critical thinking, and exploring new ideas. According to a genetic study, grizzly bears' internal clocks appear to keep ticking through hibernation. This persistence highlights the strong role of circadian rhythms in the metabolism of many organisms, including humans. The genetic study confirmed observational evidence that bears' energy production still waxes and wanes in a daily pattern even as they slumber for several months without eating. Contrary to the commonly held view, the brain cannot rewire itself to compensate for the loss of sight, an amputation or stroke, for example, say scientists. The researchers argue that the notion that the brain, in response to injury or deficit, can reorganize itself and repurpose particular regions for new functions is fundamentally flawed, despite being commonly cited in scientific textbooks. Work and personal lives underwent enormous disruption during the pandemic, with people working from home experiencing increased loneliness and a range of mental health issues. Under normal circumstances, the younger generations of workers need additional support from their managers, and that was exacerbated during the pandemic when we saw that relative newcomers to the workforce did not cope as well under the pressures of remote working. A recent study, co-authored by a researcher from Tulane University, has found evidence suggesting that violence was a prevalent aspect of life within ancient hunter-gatherer communities. The study examined skeletal remains dating back 10,000 years from burial sites in northern Chile, specifically looking for signs of trauma. These findings provide insights into the historical prevalence of violence among early human societies. Societies face numerous challenges, including inequality, discrimination, and social injustice. It's important to recognize these issues and work towards building a more equitable and compassionate society. By raising awareness, supporting marginalized communities, and advocating for social justice, we can work towards creating a better future for all. Increasing levels of obesity, poor diet, and increased sedentary behavior are driving a rapid rise in the number of cases of type 2 diabetes worldwide. In 2021, 537 million adults were estimated to have diabetes worldwide, with an increasing number diagnosed at younger ages. In the creative condition, the students were told to think of a friend who did something special and think of them as their creative friend who could help them solve any problem. This type of creativity training is called perspective shifting, in which the kids look at a situation through someone else's eyes. As the world strives to cut greenhouse gas emissions and find sustainable transportation solutions, University of Houston energy researchers suggest that hydrogen fuel can be a cost-competitive and environmentally friendly alternative to traditional liquid fuels, and that supplying hydrogen for transportation in the greater Houston area can be profitable today. Scientists have restored impaired brain function in mouse models of stroke by utilizing small molecules, which may hold promise as a potential therapy for stroke recovery in the future. Today Aush Wheelock explains that the treatment has demonstrated the ability to partially restore communication between nerve cells in significant brain areas affected by stroke.